Shalom Charim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. And guys, we just want to bring you up to speed on a couple of things that are going on. We have right now in Israel, Avichai Stein is releasing a video here. Southern Israel, we have right now a bus that was swept away because of rains there, floodwaters. This is something that does happen spring and often the fall of the year. So far, 3 have been reported killed, 10 are missing. And what happens when the rains happen, of course, the desert, it doesn't absorb that water very fast. And then the water just does a runoff, especially down there near the Sea of Galilee. Not Sea of Galilee, but near the Dead Sea area there. When you go into that part of southern Israel, the waters come down the mountains, like from Jerusalem, etc., and it definitely just causes a world of a mess there. Very troubling indeed, and we just really are saddened by those that have died in this. We do not know as of yet who it was that was killed in this that I'm aware of there. Was it tourist, etc.? Not really sure. But again, very troubling news indeed that this has happened in Israel. A couple other things I want to bring to your attention as well before I conclude the broadcast. One, Israeli News Live is going to start trying to run on live stream, running live here at 8 p.m. Time here in Prague, which would be 2 p.m. Eastern time, and of course 9 p.m. in Jerusalem for those of you that watch. And I'm kind of trying to balance this out so that the people that are watching in Australia also have that ability to do so. We have added a couple of moderators to our group here. We've got a couple of more that we're probably going to add as well. So when we're on, makes it a little bit easier to make sure we don't have any obscene things that are coming across on there. We are definitely dealing with very troubling issues, though, right now between Iran and Israel. This is the defense minister, Mr. Lieberman, who has stated today, it came out in a news piece, if Iran strikes Tel Aviv, Israel will hit Tehran. Let's see, we'll just kind of give you a little insight of the article here. Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman took aim at Iran, saying Israel would respond to any Iranian threat ahead of a meeting with senior American officials in Washington. If Iran strikes Tel Aviv, he says here, Israel will hit Tehran and destroy any Iranian military site in Syria that threatens Israel, he told London-based Saudi newspaper Elaf on Thursday. So we have to understand, of course, this is a defensive move that he is speaking about in that regards, but I just can't help but wonder if some of this rhetoric that keeps going on back and forth is to provoke Iran into a war. The Iranians have been, not necessarily their direct military, but they have had their own advisors working with their own contract fighters inside of Syria to topple ISIS. And that should be something that Israel should be happy about, is that ISIS is being removed. But unfortunately, there's still so much bitterness between the two nations. And, Israel is definitely not playing around. Russia moving in the S-300 system into Syria, giving the system to the Syrian government. That's also got the Israelis very concerned. Russia going so far as to one official saying that there would be a catastrophe if Israel tries to destroy these. Now, what does he mean by that? I don't know as of yet. Would that mean that Russia would retaliate, or does it mean that the S-300 system would begin to take out everything that Israel tries to use to disable it? That still remains to be seen. Not really sure on that side there. Anyway, also another interesting article came out. Sputnik News is reporting that the torture execution prisons that were discovered inside the very location of Duma, Syria, very troubling indeed. Says one of these jails is the Al Tawab, called Repentance. Local residents told Sputnik that those held there were those whom the terrorists believe still had a chance of being corrected by persuasion or torture. Nonetheless, by the way, it is says right in the very dark black print there, several prisons have been discovered in Syria Duma, where militants from Jais al-Islam terrorist group held thousands of their inmates, which we know that the White Helmets are affiliated with that particular group there. It goes on to say the inmates were forced to attend educational classes and were taught the norms of Sharia law. Those who wished to join the terrorist ranks were moved to the Al-Khaf jail for further indoctrination and military training. Syrian army personnel and members of rival terrorist groups were held in the Al-Butan jail, the most notorious of them all. Many entered this jail, but few survived. The inmates were subjected to severe torture, and many were executed. The Al-Safana and Al-Buka jails were reserved for women. Local residents told Sputnik that Al-Buka consisted of 50 cells. Just kind of give you an idea, look inside of this place here. Very, very troubling indeed, what happens during war. And of course, just goes to show you, these are the type militants that the United States, our own government, is supporting. Troubling, troubling indeed. Anyway, we'll be back later this evening at 8 p.m. Prague time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys want to kind of mark that down, we're going to shoot for this, kind of a trial run for me. See if we can't start running these broadcasts coming in here during this time and actually running this live to where people are aware of it. Because it's one reason why we're not, the people are just not able to come in, because YouTube has so many things blocked and they're just not able to see it. I do have loading, by the way, as well. It's a video that has 2 parts to it. It's going to be loaded on Patreon here in just a little bit. For those of you that want to check that out, you will get part of it here on YouTube as well. Again, the only parts that I'm not bringing on YouTube are those things that I know that YouTube deems very sensitive and very much a chance that they could end up, either removing the video or blocking our channel altogether. These are things, though, that I have brought out in YouTube in the past. So it's not to say that there's not some things that I haven't brought out, but the problem is the censorship is getting very serious, and our chances of being cut off are very realistic. I do bring out, though, the very depth of this video will be coming out here on YouTube today. I did pre-record it. I do want to share it with you guys. I'm going into Jude. Listen, and I'll tell you something, even if you're not religious or you're not a Christian, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, whatever you may be that watches Israeli News Live, this is one video I think you really need to watch. It is something that is just mind-boggling, and I'll probably have to go into this more than once because of the information is even new to me, something that the Lord revealed to me, and as I really begin to covering it, it's very troubling. And it'll really let you know what's going on in the background. Patreon, I go into who is actually involved in the things that God revealed to me in the book of Jude. And so many people just overlook the book of Jude, thinking it's just, well, get real serious about serving God. Most people think that this book that's true, but you'd be surprised what it really has to do with. So I did a broadcast on that today. It's processing right now, loading up, getting ready to go on Patreon. It's because I did it in high definition. We're probably looking at about, let me just see here. I think I can actually show it to you here. We're loading it on Danoon Institute, but it doesn't go there as listed because, again, we would be knocked out. Still got 2 hours remaining on the video. And Biblical Proof, Demonic Race Heads the One World Religion is the title of this. And again, it's very, very eye-opening. And I think you will be blessed by it, especially those that are on Patreon. And those of you here on YouTube, you will see the gist of the message, but not some of the other issues. Anyway, God bless you. Blessings to you all from all over the world here. We see we got Germany here. God bless you, Bass. And so many others of you from around the world. God bless you all, and so much appreciate you tremendously. And see you later today, 2 p.m. Eastern time, and of course 8 p.m. Prague time. Shalom.